All right, and we're back in here. What's going on, Kristen?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Oh, just hanging in there, the usual. A little bit of this, a little bit of sports, a little bit of music, whole
Oh,
lot of family.
well, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
How's the music going?
good,
Well, that's just
productive.
wonderful.
So I think we just got a new placement in some. I don't know. Hassan has more details. I think in some horror movie or something.
Ah, one of your songs.
Yeah, it's a interesting song that they picked, but I don't know. Who knows what the context is?
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, thank
Always
you.
nice to get your songs placed.
Yeah, always. Yeah, always. And it was an old song too. So
Oh,
yeah, so you never know when
so
it's
you
gonna
gotta make
come
sure you go.
around.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you see that movie then,
Yeah,
so you can hear
whatever
your
it is,
song.
it can't be worse than the Aaliyah movie.
I forgot you guys had a song in the Leo.
Cannot be worse than the Aaliyah movie.
That's pretty rough. The Leo movie was pretty rough.
This is not
Pretty
possible.
rough.
Not possible. You couldn't wait till the end when she was about to get on the plane.
That's a shame.
Please get on the
So, so this movie can come to an end.
tragic
Uh,
end.
well, I love scary movies, so I'll definitely be looking to watch it.
Absolutely. Thank you. And as usual, thank you for your support.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, all right. Well, welcome all to Bull Spit. This is a podcast where we talk bull spit. If you didn't know, I'm Emilio Bucks,
I'm Kristen Petite.
and we're the Bull Spitters.
Yeah, the 2-game winning streak Bulls.
Two
Spitters.
game road winning
Yeah,
streak
yeah,
and a Western road winning streak at that.
yeah.
Had a
Uh,
couple of nail biters.
yeah. I It's crazy. I forgot that they had a better record than Utah.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
did too. I thought
yeah,
Utah was better than
better. I hear. I
they
was like,
are.
oh. And then when I watched them play, I know they were missing people, but as you watch them play, like, oh, they are worse.
Yeah, yeah, they're not a
And
very
then
good
they beat
team.
Sacramento. Sacramento's better than them, so that was. I mean, any win is a good one. I just did not
Absolutely,
realize that Utah was bad like that.
it's
Was
bad.
worse than the Bulls.
Yeah, there are teams worse than the Bulls, believe it or not.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know the ones that are the Washington, the Detroit, San
The
Antonio,
Charlotte's.
and yeah, Memphis, even Toronto and Brooklyn. Yeah, like you know those, but I don't know. I just felt it seemed like people talked about Utah a lot. Maybe I just imagined that.
I thought they were. I think Utah was supposed to be better than they are.
Yeah, I think they're good at times, but overall, I mean, Larry Markkinen's their best player.
Right.
And then you have Jordan Clarkson, who's good, supposed to be good off the bench. He had a rough night last night, and then that's it. I mean, you have John Collins, but Colin Sexton.
John Collins tried to put one of our coaches in the
I,
chokehold.
I wonder what was said. Has anyone said what was said?
I have not
I think
heard.
I think part of it was the bench thought that the foul on DeMar was a little hard. You know, it was
It probably was a little bit, but they were playing hard. It was the end of the
yeah,
game.
yeah. So, and then Torrey Craig, you better sit down before you hurt that foot again.
Right.
Um, and so then, but like Stacey King was saying, and it kind of happened, you kind of, and Billy Donovan said the same thing. All that caused they got to shoot a technical, so they tied the game, and then it kind of iced DeMar a little. So
Exactly.
you have to, just let it go. You're winning the game. They fouled him hard. They didn't hurt him.
You have to be smart. And then for it to be a guy in street clothes
Right.
to start speaking up and seemingly cause the ruckus.
And we all like Torrey Craig, but just be quiet.
Yeah.
Just
We don't need that type of energy.
No. Just take this win. Let DeMar do what he had to do. Make that, you knew they were going to foul him. So that wasn't a surprise. Was it a little, okay.
Was it a little egregious?
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know, but then part of me is like, you got to be smarter than that. But part of me is like, yeah, show some fight. Like,
okay, it would have been good for those who were playing.
Yeah.
We don't, I mean, it's a shame that it comes from a coach in Torrey Craig.
It's true. The guy in street clothes.
And then you have to pick your moment.
Correct.
I don't know. But you are right. It was good. You saw Andre Drummond jump, like kind of hopping over somebody. For once, he was looking like an enforcer because
looking like as big as he is.
Right. He's very zen and namaste. So even though he looks like he should be the enforcer, but when he talks and how peaceful he is, he's not.
He's a big sweetheart.
Yes, he is. He's like a big old teddy bear.
Yeah.
So.
And that shows. That's one of the things this team was lacking. They still don't have a goon.
Yeah.
Still don't have an enforcer. They still don't have even a Bobby Portis type, which I'm not like.
I never liked Bobby Portis when he was on the Bulls.
I wasn't crazy about him either, but like he was,
I mean, he didn't play as well as he does
now. Correct.
So maybe that's why I didn't care. I was like, you're going to do all that and you're not playing well? No thanks.
And then you punch your own guy in the eye.
Right. Who at the time was one of your better shooters.
Right. Can you believe that? Mirotic. Wow.
And then he foaming at the mouth, talking to himself at one point, Bobby Portis. I was like, just go sit down.
He's a little touched.
Mm-hmm. But I was glad to see, DeMar wasn't going to back down. DeMar's from Compton. Yeah, he wasn't going to back down. Right? You could do all that. You don't scare him.
No, not much does.
Yeah, and even the year before with Zach wasn't scared. Like, everyone's not Mirotic, Bobby. That foaming at the mouth doesn't scare most people.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody's afraid of Bobby Portis.
No. If you ask Joe Cowley, everyone is, because he's from Little Rock.
Joe Cowley, I don't know who he roots for. It's seemingly not the Bulls sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, he does. He likes DeMar, and he seems to like Kobe, and he likes Vooch, and maybe Ayo. I can't figure out if he likes the coach or not. He can't stand Zach. And I think the biggest reason why he doesn't like Zach is who he was traded for.
His one and only love, Jimmy Butler.
Yes. Yeah, that's his soulmate.
Yeah.
So Jimmy got traded, and Zach was the one who came here, and he doesn't play like Jimmy. He's not intense like that.
That's still one of the worst offensive teams. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are, as the kids say, they are just mid enough to win and just mid enough to lose.
You can't win like that. You can't win in the playoffs and go deep. You can't. I mean, you can win some games. Obviously, they've won some games. They're going to fight for a playing spot. But no, you're not contending like that without being able to hit the three, without being able to rebound.
Yeah. Now, like Eddie Curry said when he was, I guess Torrey Craig is back tonight. That's why he was getting himself all lathered up.
Lathered up.
Making his comeback. He was like, let me get my juices up. Like Eddie Curry said, the game, and we've all seen it. If you're not a pure 3-point shooter, the game does change in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it is focused more on, there is a lot more slowing it down. So I'm like, if people do change their games, but you still have to be able to do it. And I don't know if the Bulls can really do it enough in crunch time. And in the playoffs, people are going to guard. You can tell if the Bulls are playing a pretty good defensive team, how Kobe plays. Because if you play defensive well enough, you're going to get up on Kobe, and he's not going to be able to go off as much as he does.
This is correct.
And they're going to continue to play him differently. And eventually people are going to start, they're going to learn that they have to play Io a little different.
Oh yeah, they're learning about Io now.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. I don't think he did that well yesterday. Not like how he had been doing.
I don't
Yeah, a
know if
lot
it
of
was his season or career highs in assists.
assists.
Io
Yeah,
did.
yeah. And it seems like they also, like Stacey King has said, that the Bulls need to play Kobe's better off the ball, which we've said many times on this show.
Absolutely.
Even though he gets assists, he's much better as basically playing more like the shooting guard.
Right.
Teams are able to stop him a little more when he has to handle the ball too much.
This is true.
Because they get up on him and they make him make decisions.
And then he
sometimes he
starts whipping that hair around.
Oh my gosh. That's what we need to do, a compilation with my hair
whips.
or the Willow Smith song.
Right.
all the videos of
he
Kobe
loves whipping that head around.
Yes, he does. His little sideshow Bob hairstyle. But I guess now he's moved in the lead, maybe, of the most improved player category.
Who's he up against?
I think it was someone that was on Brooklyn, and I forgot who else it was. But I think he's gone ahead of them now. Well, okay, maybe just some Bulls fans' mind. So, but he's more way more consistent.
Oh yeah, you could see where he was averaging only about 12 points in that first month of the season to where he is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've seen him get better throughout the season, like made tremendous leaps, and he's definitely improved. Can't speak to if he's the most in the league, but
right, Kobe White for president. Well, I guess. Well, he's at least
better than some of the other people running for him.
He can remember stuff. He'd also be going up against Tyrese Maxey. That's a good, and even though they're not playing as well, Tyrese Maxey really has to carry his team with Embiid out. So anything they are, because Tobias Harris, he's so on and off.
Yeah.
So, but on the Bulls, most improved, Kobe's definitely most improved on this Bulls team. DeMar's still king of the fourth. It seems like Alex Caruso, he's been playing with something, thumb ligament, something torn, strained, something. Every part of his body is strained and torn.
Always with something.
Every time he hits the floor, it's like when AD hits the floor. Should we build the ring? No,
I don't think so, Trey. I don't think we've seen enough from Toby.
Toby.
I don't think we. I don't think we've seen enough from Kobe yet to say like, okay, he's an anchor. He is like somebody you build around. I think if he takes it to another level next year and consistently plays at that level, then I think you could look at that possibly. But I think he's got to be an all-star first.
Yeah, I think he's he's part of the nucleus, but
definitely.
Is he your superstar number one? Not yet.
Because he still is not even Zach on a good night.
No, yeah. Could you see him carrying a team right now? And I can't right now. Maybe next year. He's the new future. Nothing else is future. So he's my tallest midget, then yeah.
Yeah,
of all the young people on the team, yeah, he has the most to offer.
Yeah. You can see him being here. He did just sign a new contract, so yeah, he is He is the future, whether you like it or not.
And I can imagine that they will probably renegotiate. If he plays like this again next year, he's in for a big payday because they got him at a pretty big bargain. I don't think they anticipated he would be this good. But he could be a piece that you get two superstars around, sure. But he's not.
Now that's just get two superstars.
Okay. He can be the piece that you get two stars around, two all-stars. I mean, he already has that. Okay, some different all-stars.
Or we're just gonna run the same team back next year.
Oh, yeah. So Casey Johnson still thinks that Zach will get traded. I can't imagine he gets traded before the season.
No.
I could see he gets traded before the trade deadline if the Bulls are whatever. But
next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so in other words, we're gonna have to go through this we're gonna run this back and have the same discussions and the same let's trade Zach conversations all next year. It's quite possible, especially if DeMar stays.
Right.
I think they have every intention on trying to re-sign DeMar.
If they want him. It's up to DeMar probably.
Right.
I don't know how much money he wants. I don't know how important actually winning
a ring is.
Because this isn't even, depending on who they even got. Okay, considering Zach's injury right now, they're not even going to get someone to replace him production-wise. So you replace him, you trade him, you get somebody who maybe can give you 10 points and you get some draft picks. That's about all you're going to get if you trade him before the season. Excuse me, because he's coming off of surgery. So you have somebody else who is a rotational player and this group.
Probably another 6'3", 6'4" guard.
Yeah, so I mean, so we're still just fighting for the 9th spot.
Yeah.
This team isn't even close to getting to the 6th spot.
No.
And while I don't know what they can do, and it's real sad. They remembered the guy it must have been another game. Remembering that coach. That had to have been tough to play that game. We're looking at the game. They were showing all the Warriors crying because they lost that coach. That had to have been a rough game. But okay, so you come back with the guarantees are coming back are Kobe, Ayo, Alex, Vooch, Torrey Craig, and I guess Andre Drummond. I think, does he have, or no, he's the unrestricted, restricted.
I thought
he's something.
I feel like he's unrestricted.
I think yeah. So if he's there, that's 6 people, 6 guys.
There's not much room.
I was about to see all that silence. Did that excite you at all?
No.
And I like all those guys I mentioned. But if I want to see real winning basketball, something has to be added to that group, and not just DeMar and Zach.
Well, what about the possible return of one Mr. Lonzo Ball?
He hasn't even started doing the stuff he was supposed to do to be on track.
I know. He's still behind schedule.
I just, and if he comes back, he's only going to be able to play half the time.
Yeah.
Is he going to be as effective? Can he, because, one of his ways of being effective was the fact he pushed the ball. He ran. Yeah. Can he do that? We'd love to have him back because that definitely automatically makes them a better team if he's the same Lonzo.
If he's the same Lonzo Ball, but that's a big if.
That's a very big if. And can you go into another season hoping on Lonzo?
If anybody can, the Bulls can.
The Bulls will.
if anybody's willing to
place their bets on
to
us,
hang
right?
their future on that, it would be the Bulls. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Then there's hard to believe they had the number one seed. Yeah. They were.
I mean, that was so long ago, but yeah.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, everything there was at that point, there was never a question of could they play together. There was never a question, was DeMar too ISO? Could Zach not play with people? Was Vooch going to score? There was never a question when Lonzo was here. They were beasts when Lonzo. And shame on the Bulls for never trying to replace Lonzo with anything close.
Had so many opportunities.
And they didn't even come close to trying to replace him. They brought in Goran Dragic. What was that? Nothing. Patrick Beverly, who Javon Carter. Patrick Beverly made a difference when he first got here, but then after he showed the team he couldn't shoot, he didn't even get to play in the fourth quarter at the time. And
I heard that he kind of rubbed some people the wrong way in the locker room, including Vooch.
That's why Vooch was cussing at him during that game. And yeah. Clearly he rubs everybody the wrong way because that's why they keep trading.
Right, he's a journeyman.
Yeah, he's that what we said we needed. He's that type of guy that we're missing. The bothersome, he'll bother you. He'll play defense. He'll get on your nerves. Yes. So with that, he was good. And yes, Frank, I have always said, while I like Billy Donovan as a coach, I don't like him as the coach of this team.
Correct.
For me, he's not the coach of this team.
Go back and coach Florida.
Yeah. Or any place else. The front office. So we blame them for not doing anything. They could have traded Andre Drummond, but then who's taking Andre Drummond's spot? They could have traded Alex Caruso. He was probably your biggest chip. But they love him.
At one point, they could have traded Patrick Williams.
Oh my gosh. What, last year when yes, and they could have gotten young veterans, difference makers.
Yeah.
And now they're either going to have to re-sign him or lose him for nothing.
I'm hearing the word on the street is that he'll be re-signed.
And I'm going to feel about this the same way I feel about Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. And then they'll re-sign him and then be trying to trade him by the midpoint.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
There's no vision. I think that's what bothers fans the most. Okay, you wanted to come back with that nucleus of Vooch, Zach, and DeMar. But all you could add was Torrey Craig and Javon Carter. When there were some other people out there that could have been added that are nothing against Torrey Craig or Javon Carter, but I always wanted Drew Holiday when he was available.
Absolutely.
That's your Lonzo Ball replacement right there.
There you go.
But okay, you couldn't get him. There had to have been something else they could have done. And no offense against anyone, but it was like they decided they were going to go to Ross. They weren't going to go to Nordstrom's.
Not even Nordstrom's Rack.
Yeah, they didn't even go to Nordstrom's Rack for some brand name with a little tread on them. A little
right.
Slightly out of date, but still you can rock that one because
yeah. Just put a scarf over it or something.
I got a a blazer, and that shirt is
Right, and
good
then
to
you
go.
cover up that little snag.
Yeah, it's like that's what they decided to do instead of trying. You saw from the previous years that once Lonzo was gone, that nucleus is good enough, but they never did anything to build or to really build around it. And a bunch of 6'5" guards isn't it.
Yeah.
And maybe the front office is afraid of going backwards, but could they at least try to go forwards a little?
They love standing pat. They didn't make a move at the trade deadline last year. They didn't make a move at the trade deadline this year. They didn't even, and now what's his name? Bettine? Who's the redhead?
They're finally playing Batum. That remember we've been asking for him for a while since he can shoot the three. It's not the same as it was in the beginning with him, but they were so fixated on trading Zach, they couldn't see anything else besides trading Zach. And when that wasn't turning out the way that they wanted to, they can't pivot. I don't know why they aren't a front office who can ever pivot from something. That's not working. You're not getting what you want him gone so bad. You really think someone's getting ready to give you 5 picks?
Mm-hmm.
We're watching this with the Bears right now. You have let the world know that you want someone gone so bad. Of course, they're not going to give you the world.
Correct.
Why would they? You're the one who's desperate.
Chicago.
We don't have to have Zach. So we'll sit back and wait. You're either going to meet what we're willing to give you, or you'll just keep him, and that's fine with us because we didn't have to have Zach. That's what other teams were thinking. But the Bulls, and then I know it's also the agents in doing it, but the Bulls never back away from a story to make it seem like they're not so desperate to do it. They actually said they want, before they thought about trading anyone else, they wanted to see how the Zach thing worked out. But when it wasn't working out with 2 to 3 weeks left before the trade deadline, you did nothing else. You said that the Warriors wanted Alex Caruso. You said you were telling people they need to give you 2 first-round picks for Alex Caruso? No.
Can you speak on that a little bit more? What do you think?
They paid, so they didn't want Zach, but they were able to match Sacramento's offer. So they're paying him a lot of money. That was the going rate for what he was. He's been injured or whatever, so maybe people don't consider him a max player, but he was a max player on the Bulls. He was always the Bulls' best player.
At the time.
The whole time he was there, he was always the Bulls' best player. And when he's on, technically, he's still the best overall offensive player on the Bulls now.
When he's healthy and when he's on.
You're right.
Which has not been often in his last 2 years.
Like, he played a lot of games last year, surprisingly, when we looked at that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's not the same that it used to be. But a lot of teams pay players a lot of money. There are teams who have 3 players that make 30, 40. I mean, look at the Warriors. And I know that they're getting in that apron with the salary cap, but Chicago's the 3rd largest market. But we already know who owns this team.
We already know who owns this team.
This owner doesn't like to pay anyone any money.
Frank, the Bulls suck at poker. They suck at basketball as well.
Yeah. They suck at sports. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Reinsdorfs. The Bulls suck at basketball. It's just, I think, they are paying him a lot of money, but they chose to pay him a lot of money, and they could still pay some people money. There's still money there to be paid. Vooch is making $20 million a year. They didn't balk at that.
When you're the 3rd largest market, you lead the league in attendance.
You can afford. You can afford
to do some things.
And then you want to talk about wasting money. What is Lonzo Ball making? I mean, he's on 2-3 years of wasted. money.
Yeah.
So I guess technically they had their 20-30 million dollar people. The problem is they had one of their players had a catastrophic injury, and now they are kind of stuck, but we as fans shouldn't pay for their poor decisions.
I don't think that the ownership, Jerry Reinsdorf, has made it all but clear he does not really care about fans. When you listen to him talk, it's just nothing but arrogance, just being condescending towards fans, just thinks the fans are stupid. And some of us fans are stupid. I mean, but you can't act like that if you want the support of your fans. And
Right.
or you can act like that because he still gets the support of the fans when it comes to the Bulls.
Yeah, because it's just like we said last time, it's winter in Chicago, although we've had a good winter, but it's winter in Chicago. It's something exciting. It's expensive as hell, but it's something exciting for you to do with your family, a date night or something like that.
Right.
And then a lot of people have season tickets and they start just giving them away. Like people who don't want to go, they'll give away their tickets to schools, charity tickets, all that kind of stuff. So it's raucous and all that because people are just excited to be out. And I don't even know, based on watching the Sox and that attendance issue, some people are like, even Joe Cowley always brings this up, until fans really take a stand, this is how it's going to be. But is it really going to make a difference? It hasn't on the South side.
No. And that guy is asking for $1 billion in taxpayer money to build his failing baseball team a new stadium.
And it's telling us why it needs to be approved.
That's if. Like, get out of here, man.
$1 billion.
Like, what is Reinsdorf? I mean, it's just he never ceases to amaze. Like,
and there was a tax luxury question, and that is what they're afraid of being in. But they need to stop playing. They need to stop being afraid. How often do teams win championships without a lot of highly paid players?
Jerry Reinsdorf feels like he did that already. He got his 6 rings. I don't think he's really cares that much about winning another NBA championship.
So that's where
he's just running a business. He's running on paper a successful business. I mean, financially speaking, he's running a successful business. Wins and losses aside. He's running a successful business.
And public and media and other fans' public perception.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
and here's another thing, with basketball. So you have to trade salaries for salaries, right? So when people talk about Zach's salary, or even if they were going to trade Vooch, you're still paying that salary when you get the other people back. It's not like cutting in football where now you're gaining $15 million in cap space. When you make a trade in basketball, you have to do it for what? I mean, you have to do it, salary for salary.
So you're still paying that money out, whether you keep Zach or not. And it's just a matter, are you going to pay that money out for 1 or 2 mediocre players and some unproven, fairly lower draft picks? You're not getting much in draft capital.
And now people are trading for 2027, 2028 second round draft picks. You saw a lot of those trades this year. It wasn't even for 2024, 2025. It was 26, 27, 28. So now we're holding on to draft picks that won't even come here for 3 years.
Correct, Trey. the Sky are the most recent champions.
That was a good round.
Our next podcast will be Sky Spit. Maybe they'll be more interesting to watch.
I don't know if they're as interested now.
Well, now, yeah, we missed the window, I guess.
They're just like every other Chicago team. The one day. Okay, so you have Julian Phillips. He's good. Balin Terry.
He's not good.
No. And if he is good, he's just good on your bench.
Yeah.
People that are left, your starters who could start of your young people is Kobe and Ayo.
Do you think? I mean, what are the over under on DeMar returning next year? Like, I mean, you got to think the guy at this age is interested in playing for a championship.
You would think, but
you would think a guy of his caliber is interested in playing for a championship. And he's from Compton, but he's not an idiot. That was like a backhanded.
That was
compliment.
Most Compton people are idiots. So let's say I think if the Lakers or the Clippers were to come with the deal, I think it would be very hard for him to resist that.
Just say no. You have to go home and compete.
Yes. Clippers more than the Lakers competing right now.
Right.
I think maybe even New York would interest him, the Knicks, but I don't know where he would fit on the Knicks. But it feels like it would be really hard for him to resist, even if the Warriors decided to come calling. It seems like it would be hard for him to resist going back west.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. He's grown very close. He calls the kids his youngins. He's a very positive mentor for them. But it's like he still has good years left. So it's like, are you really ready to be the old mentor?
Right, and give up on your dreams of winning a ring? Yeah, I mean, yeah, he took him when he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But you know,
I mean, Kyle Lowry didn't help him out either in Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't win till they traded him. So then, you know, you do wonder, like, he sounds like a person who's coming back when he was talking during the trade deadline. How he wants to be here and it's like a marriage and whatever. So maybe Trey's right. He's like, whatever, I'm not gonna win. I want to be comfortable.
So you think there's a chance, and I'm agreeing there's a chance that he is resigned to his fate of being one of the best players to never win a championship.
Because I think he also likes being the king of the fourth, being the person that you really rely on to get you right, to score a lot. And let's say if he were to go to the Clippers or someone else, he's not
giving all that up.
He's, even with the emergence of Kobe, he's still the man here.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's not going to be the man.
And will still be next year if he resigns.
Yes. And so if that's important to him, and I think it is, because that's why, you know, we make jokes about him, like, oh, he got tired of Kobe getting all the shine and he decided to go ISO.
Right.
I think that's why he does that, because he does like being considered the man. And he'd have to stay here or be in a situation like here to do that, to still be considered that.
Yeah.
Any place else, any of those other places we mentioned, he's not. He might be the third
Or he's not even going to be the third option playing
Yeah.
for one of the California teams.
Right. Maybe with the Lakers, because it would be just LeBron and AD. He could be the third on the Lakers.
This is true.
On the Clippers, no. Yeah, Clippers, he's the fourth. Because you got George, Kawhi, Harden, and Russell comes off the bench, and then you'd have him. 76ers, he would be the third after Tyrese Maxey. It'd be Embiid, Maxey, him. And he could be the third with the Lakers. But on the Bulls, he's one.
Yeah.
On rare nights, he's two. But he's never three.
Right.
Well, yes, I'm sorry. He has been the third best, but that is out of an 82-game season. That's what? Very rare. Like right now, he's showing out. He's because people still fall for the same moves that he's been putting on for 10 years.
Oh, and those continuation buckets, like you just saw him get, you know, he's still masterful. He's still masterful in that mid-range game.
He knows how to bring the ball so that someone always comes down on his arm. Mm-hmm. So he's still doing well. What we've seen when they have played in the playoff games, he is worn out by then. I mean, he's leading the league in minutes. Remember how we used to dog Tibbs about minutes? No one really says anything about Donovan. He's
dogging his players.
Yes. Kobe's what, top 3, top 2?
Yep.
And then you had the number 1 in DeMar. And he still seems to be able. So I think he's coming back. He'll probably get the most money here. And
you know, with all that you just said, like that makes me think like, I mean, you made a pretty convincing argument for him coming back. You definitely did. I'm like, I wasn't sure, but now what you tell it, I'm like, yeah, of course he'll be back. Why wouldn't he be?
It just makes sense.
Makes all the sense in the world. He'd be back.
Yep. So okay. Now you're coming back. So you're looking at the team that's coming back right now.
Mm-hmm.
Zach is a maybe. So now let's just think he's not here. So now you're looking at the team. So you're still looking at a 9th seed. Because everybody else isn't just going to stand pat.
Bulls trying to storm back into this game down 2.
Yeah.
Just under 9 minutes left in the second. DeMar's going to work.
Yeah, it's been the DeMar show. He's getting everybody in foul trouble.
Yeah, he's going to work.
And then they're like dumb fouls.
Yeah. He makes people look dumb.
Yeah, Moody, what are you doing? You would have been better off just let him shoot. You're chasing him at this point. Nothing good is going to come from that chase that you were doing.
That's their instinct.
And I think even going back to DeMar, is he going to have these same chances someplace else? Nope. For this type of scoring takeover, he'll be back.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard it here. Kristen says DeMar will be back.
Yep. And Bulls fans, let's prepare ourselves. We'll be excited when the season's starting. But we're looking at another. Maybe they'll scoot up to the 7th, 8th. Still looking at a play-in. They're going to be a play-in team again, unless everybody ahead of them gets hurt.
Maybe they'll get a point guard in the offseason. But then where does that
put Kobe? No, they're not going to because they think Kobe's it. And now that Io's done well and you have Alex Caruso, it's the same team.
The backcourt is all shored up with Zach coming back.
But even, they'll probably still try to trade Zach, but it's going to be the same team.
Yeah.
Trading Zach is not going to get you a better player. I'm not saying you don't trade him, but I don't know what you're expecting.
What you're expecting to get back at this point.
So
And I don't think anybody has any faith in Bulls scouting that they're gonna like find a diamond in the rough or even know what to do with a low round draft pick
because they're not
in
going to get
2027.
right. They're not going to get. They weren't getting good offers when he was
Healthy.
before a surgery.
Right.
When they just thought he'd be able to come back, and then when he did come back and he was playing well, they still weren't getting the offers that they wanted. So my thing is, if you thought he was worth that much, why are you trading him?
Bulls are just idiots. Like what? They're just idiots.
Like
They're the laughing stock. I hate when we're on national TV.
Oh my gosh! Because even when they win, they dog.
When they get dogged.
Yeah, they're gonna run it back, Trey. I can't even see. I don't know who's available. Maybe that's what we should look at for the next show. Who's supposed to be a free agent besides the free agents they have? That the Bulls would even have a chance. Who wants to come here?
I was surprised DeMar wanted to come here when he did.
Well, it was a sign and trade.
Oh, is that what was for?
Because I think they got in trouble a little bit. Because they gave up draft picks for DeMar too. The trouble was Lonzo. Sorry, I'm mixing them up.
Yeah.
They gave away draft picks for DeMar as well.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I don't remember which one it was, but it was like a sign and trade type of thing.
Ah.
So him signing again is him wanting to be back.
Right. Which is
but
different.
if someone out there wants to double check, could be wrong, but I thought some draft picks went to San Antonio.
Oh,
or a draft pick or something like that for DeMar. But it's the age-old thing. Who really wants to come here as a free agent? Somebody might, but is it someone who's going to put the Bulls into being really competitive? What about these plans says championship aspirations?
I mean, the Bulls brass have not instilled any sense of confidence in anybody over the last decade.
Remember when they first came and they got DeMar and all that, like they got the Vooch. Well, remember it was they gave you hope. Yeah, they were like, oh, yeah, it was a sign and trade. The Bulls traded Thaddeus Young, Al Farouk Aminu, I guess, a protected first round draft pick and 2 second-round draft picks. So they traded
a lot.
Yeah. We only focus on the draft picks that we traded for Vooch. But that's a lot of draft picks that got traded for DeMar.
For DeMar. Trading away our draft assets. Man, the Bulls can't draft worth a damn
anyway. That's my thing. Like when people look at the Orlando Magic and who they drafted, do you really think the Bulls were going to draft any of those people?
No. Or if they had, they wouldn't be playing the way they are now.
Right. And can we stop with the Wendell Carter crap?
Oh my God, that's a joke.
The last time he played the Bulls. Right. He didn't even get to play anymore. That's how bad he was.
He is trash. He only had good games against the Bulls.
His best games, I think he averaged a little. 1 year he averaged 15, whatever, but he was still not as good as Vooch. So that we should have kept him, and people say the same thing about that Daniel Gafford, whatever. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Trey, we're all just like horribly abused people. We're all in an abusive relationship with Chicago sports teams.
We are. With all of them, with every one of them. Because we keep on watching and fans keep buying tickets.
And merchandise. And merch and go there and spend $100 on concessions and
all the time.
I mean,
I'm going to keep watching.
I'm going to a game in a couple of weeks.
I mean, they're 2 games under 500. They win tonight. That'll be 1 game under, but you know,
They're not
they
gonna
take
win
a
that.
step. They take a step forward and 3 back every time.
Nowhere they're beating Golden State and Golden State.
Their next games today, then they play the Clippers at the Clippers, then they play Dallas, Pacers, Clippers, and then they play the Wizards.
So they got a rough couple of weeks ahead of them. And I mean, I'm going to the Wizards game.
All right, so you're gonna see a victory.
I mean, so you think? So you hope? I mean, hell, if I was going to see them play Detroit last week, I would have assumed the win too, and we saw what happened.
That's true.
This team could be beat by anybody, including the Wizards and Detroit.
And what makes it so mad, or what makes you or frustrates you as a fan, is they lose to the Wizards, but then they'll beat someone like the Clippers
or Denver or somebody, right?
They'll beat someone that they had no business beating, and then they'll turn around and lose to a 9-win team, or they'll struggle to beat a 12-win team. I mean, absolutely struggle.
Double overtime.
Yes. And it's really one of the main reasons why they wind up winning is because teams are so fixated on hitting threes even when they can't. That's a lot of times. That's how most teams are able to get back in games, because they just start shooting threes. All right, Alex made his, but I was about to say like that and missed, but he made that one. I sure was about to say it. And so, and that's how everyone can get back in the game. Like, okay, see, the Warriors just missed their 3. I know that's just the state of the game, but I just don't understand why teams don't, when you're going bad on the 3, why they don't just start going to the basket.
You know, there used to be that saying, you know, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. And I don't hear that anymore, but you see it still all the time. You see teams die by the 3 night in and night out. Yeah. Especially during the playoffs, you see teams die by that 3 night in and night out. And it's kind of speaks to the poor quality of the game that we're looking at. But, you know, Troy said he's been following the Bulls since before Mike was drafted. So you have faith. Well, you got something.
You got faith that Mike's coming again? That we got another Mike coming?
So you go back to the Reggie Theus days, and I hear you, bro.
Well, I'm glad you have faith. I would like for them to win. I'm one of those fans I was just talking about who gets excited when the season starts.
We get fooled and excited, and I think speaking of being foolish, when the season starts, this is a great time to pivot towards some baseball.
Bull Spit Plunk. It's that time of the year, Bull Spit Plunk.
Bull Spit Plunks.
Yeah. When every team has a chance in the spring.
Everybody's got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You got 162 games to prove it.
And then when you,
or maybe more like 100, but you know.
Then that player that you always mention, Matt Mervis, is hitting home runs.
All right, there we go.
He did that.
Ready?
He's not. Well, I hope he is.
Maybe he's ready. Bulls take the 1-point lead.
Yeah, they're getting ready. Oh, I thought he's about to pull that 3. All right, but you remember the last time they played Golden State?
Oh yeah.
And then Klay Thompson just went to town, and the Bulls lost by a lot.
Klay Thompson hates the Bulls.
He does. He always plays his best games.
Like historic games.
Yeah. You know, I know Alex Caruso plays really good defense, I don't understand why more teams just don't go at him, because you can also get a lot of fouls on him quickly.
Because he's a hack too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, we call it good defense, and he does play good defense.
He does.
But if you drive on him, like, you can get him in foul trouble. Same thing with Vooch and Andre Drummond. If you drive on any of those, they're gonna foul you.
Mm-hmm.
More teams don't do that. Like, more teams don't act like DeMar, because everyone wants to shoot a three.
Well,
But
let's
if
not
more
bring
players,
it up before they figure it out.
oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so baseball. What do you think about your Sox so far?
I think they are who I assume they will be.
All right, Dennis Green.
They stink.
It stinks.
They stink.
And
They
where
got a
where did
couple.
they
I mean,
find
you know, like what reason? I was listening to the score the other day, and they were like, "Well, what reason is there to watch the Sox?" And I say, "Well, Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, when healthy, he's still one of the better hitters in the league. Outside of an occasional Dylan Cease start, there isn't much there to watch."
Who else are the young?
I'm
else is,
interested in seeing, and this is me talking in March. I'm interested in seeing if we can get a healthy Moncada that returns to form, because he's still on the team. Our overall number 4 pick, Andrew Vaughn, is still.
What position does he play? Is he the DH?
Andrew Vaughn?
Yeah,
he's the first baseman.
Yeah, so he'll be the first baseman. Okay.
Yeah, because he
is Gavin.
Gavin Sheets is still here. He's still a man without quite a position. I try to like Gavin Sheets, you know, but he just doesn't show me enough consistently. Yeah. He's good at home. He can hit the ball at home, but doesn't say much about the other 81 games.
What about your pitching?
You know, in the limited action that I've seen, there's a guy who looks pretty good in the bullpen. I can't remember his name. He'll be valuable out of the bullpen. We still have Garrett Crochet back. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
We won't have to call him Crotchet like
Crotchet again.
When he was had a little rough time.
Yeah, so hopefully he can stay healthy. The team still has a couple of decent pieces. Not at all anything to write home about. They still play in the lousy AL Central, so they always got a shot.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to see what happens. What about your Cubs? How are you feeling about them?
Well, I was happy Cody Bellinger was resigned.
Yes, very good. That was very good.
But they still need to do more. They need another starter, and they need a proven starter. Isn't Blake Snell still out there? There's some Boris clients still out there. Is it Jordan Montgomery? Isn't he a pitcher? I think he's still out there. He might be a Boris client too. But I think they still need a pitcher. Yeah, he is a pitcher. So Dodgers, Rangers, Cubs.
Jordan Montgomery still available.
Yeah, and Blake Snell. So there's pitchers still available that they need to go ahead and pull the trigger on. They don't need to keep waiting, and now they can get pitchers without giving up any of their prospects. Go sign somebody.
Right.
You did. I know they signed Shot or whatever, but they need to sign another one. So this could be similar to the Lackey, Arrieta got a trade for Arrieta, and you had Lester. Remember when the Bulls signed pitchers, didn't have to give up any more of their farm system at that time. They need to sign another one, and now you still have all these people in your farm system that you keep talking about, that all these top prospects and things like that you can hold on to or prepare or whatever you're trying to do with them. But they have to find another pitcher if they're going to compete.
Indeed.
You know, some people are worried about PCA not being able to play. Do we even know he's ready to play? I'm all for putting people in there. So you could move Bellinger to first and let PCA play center, because it's not like they really have a solid or solidified first baseman.
No, they don't. And I thought that was part of the reason they needed to sign Bellinger again.
Right. So if PCA is really great during spring training and you want to keep him here, okay, you just slide Bellinger over to first, and sometimes he still gets to play center, however you want to work it.
Right.
We'll see how Morrell does at third base. If it doesn't work out, then I guess he's your DH. And I think Patrick Wisdom's going to be in a platoon deal.
Yeah.
That was some money that could have been spent on the pitcher. You could have put that towards your pitcher. But anyway, you know, for me, one of the most important things that they need to do was get Bellinger's left-hand bat in there. I hope he doesn't disappoint me and others who were really rooting hard for him to come back.
I know.
But
hopefully
they are still a
have an off year.
Right. They are still a pitcher away. So
we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, all right.
With that being said, I think it's time.
Yeah, tie game.
Coming down to the halftime mark. We've got a tie game. Bulls playing. Let's see if they don't run out of gas.
Oh, yeah, they are on the, well, they're both on back-to-back. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to all the people who tuned in and made comments and asked questions. Always appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And until next week, we're out of here. Where's that thing?
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.